Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. We are with Quintessence last hour, level 36, almost level 37. Brute, who only needs 24,000 XP to get to the next level. And we are on a story arc for Stephen Sheridan. Before we start that, I do want to mention we do have 5 out of the 6 enhancers for our next ATO set. We just either have to wait enough time for Tiger Strike to be able to buy another one, which is another day or two, or until we get enough reward merits. We have, we have 371. I think we need at least 29 more, at least 400, maybe 450. It may be that this story arc will get us there. It may be that we will finish this story arc before Tiger Strike can buy the last one. Otherwise, Tiger Strike, I think it's all she's going to be able to afford because she'll be out of reward merits after that. And getting low on influence. But this character will be able to buy, I think, everything else that she needs for herself once we get these very expensive ATOs taken care of. Alright, so we're on the story arc for Sheridan, the Organ Grinders, and he says, the recent Rikti thefts have me worried. There's only one reason I can think of for the Rikti to go around stealing human blood and organs. They must be trying to improve the mutagens that transform people more quickly. From what I know about the current Rikti mutagen, they will need a large supply of the chemical beryllium. The only place I could find a lot of beryllium was at Nicholson Chemicals over in Independence Port. Get over there and deal with it. Alright, so now the fun part is we can get to Independence Port from over there, that little tunnel there. If this is in the south of Independence Port, that's faster. If it's in the north of Independence Port, the train's faster. So we may be coming right back, depending on where in Independence Port this is. So let's see. It's been a while, 3 or 4 days since I played. I think it's been about 3 days since I played, and we're right here, so we'll go after it. I've been posting. I think I missed 1 day posting. I got another migraine a couple days ago, and so I've just been with the headache. It's hard to wear the headphones and be comfortable, and I try to rest my eyes a lot because sometimes I have issues with my vision when I have a migraine. So I've mostly been relaxing, watched a couple of movies, watched some old TV shows, a couple of reruns of The Big Bang Theory, which is a show I used to like in its first 3 or 4 seasons and then didn't like it after that. But I've been watching season 1 and 2 of that, which is a lot of fun. So this is supposed to be a warehouse. This happened the last time too. We walked clearly into a warehouse and now we're in a cave, which doesn't make any sense at all. It's almost like they redid. And I think what may have happened is when they got this newer council map after they added it to the game, they may have just added it to this mission and without realizing like that the mission's about a warehouse and not a cave. It's very strange. So we are looking for. We're going to defeat every villain in the quote unquote warehouse, and we're looking for beryllium. And again, this doesn't make any sense because if we're looking for beryllium, we should just be looking for beryllium, and it shouldn't matter how many of these guys we defeat, as long as we get our hands on the beryllium, right? So I don't know. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Which is weird, because this is one of the older story arcs, and usually those do make sense. You can see that basically the only thing that can stop us at this point is a misstreak. As long as we don't have an unbelievably bad misstreak, this character is basically invincible. She's basically unstoppable by any normal, even +2 set of minions and lieutenants and stuff. And maybe an elite boss of a certain type could give her pause, but that's about it. I mean, literally the only reason not at this point already not to go up to +3 on the missions is that we'd get +4s and we just literally will not be able to hit. This character is the combo of energy and dark is fantastic. I don't know what dark's like because I've not played /dark, but the combo of energy aura plus the dark melee is amazing because both of them help you regain endurance and both of them help you regain health. And so we can regain both our health and our endurance at the same with both of the power sets, and that allows us to do it twice, which is way more than either power set was ever intended to let you do. So it stacks extremely well. And I mean, I picked the pair specifically because of the special effects and the origin of the character and how she's dark energy. And so using a dark version of energy aura worked for me. Um, Whereas the dark armor and to some degree dark melee feels more like mystical and necromantic to me than dark energy, but I feel like the combo that I've got here is close enough that I'm pretty happy with it. And I mean, I went with it entirely for the feel of it and not because I thought it would stack well. I actually thought maybe it wouldn't stack that great, but it turns out it stacks really well. And the two are very well. In some ways, they're complementary, and in some ways, they're supplementary. All right, so complements mean they cover each other in places that the other doesn't have. So having resistance complements having defense, but they're also supplementary in that they stack, which is quite nice in several places. And the heal and the endurance regain both do that extremely well. So it's going to be incredibly hard to take this character down for the NPCs because she has so many ways to kind of recover things, recover her endurance, recover her hit points, and so on. And as our recharges get better, it'll only become more fantastic, right? And Siphon Life is as good as it's going to get unless we put a set on it, but Energize can still be improved, and Energy Drain can still be improved, and so on. And as we do that, she's going to become more and more resilient, and we're going to have to do something about her 2-hit. I may have to look into sets that increase her accuracy and increase her 2-hit because we're going to need to do that if we try to go into +3s and +4s. This character, though, she's cruising. I mean, she's doing really well. So I've been very satisfied with it. And the one little complaint, well, the two little complaints I have are, I have no complaints about Energy Aura. I love it. The two complaints I have in Dark Melee are, one, I find the fear entirely lackluster, and I would much rather have something else, almost anything else besides fear, even in Immobilize, would be better than fear. I don't like the way the fear works at all. I haven't enhanced it, so to some degree that's part of it, and we all know that powers are pretty lackluster if you don't enhance them, but I just feel like the fear just doesn't do anything for me. The one thing I was trying to use it for was to stop enemies from doing things like teleporting away, and they teleport away and then stay frightened after they've teleported and never come back, which makes it utterly useless. So I'd rather have something else. In terms of the Soul Drain, it's a cool power. I'd still rather just have a 2-hit buff, but I'm okay with that one. Those are sort of the only two minor grumbles I have about Dark Melee. I absolutely love the attacks. I like the endurance recovery. I love that the attacks reduce their chance to hit and how that stacks with the energy or defense. It's absolutely wonderful. I really like that. And overall, I've been very happy with it. Right? On a scale of 1 to 10, with martial arts being a 10, I'd give this like a 9.5. I really have been enjoying Energy Melee a lot. Okay, so where's the train? The train is, why am I lost? Oh, wait, actually, no, we're not going to look for the train. We're looking for Aurora Borealis so we can level up. Because we are now level 37, guys. That means we get 2 more slots, and the train's right in front of me. I was thinking I'd gone north for some reason instead of south. I don't know why. So we're going to level up, and then we're going to probably, I'll pause it here and see if we can make some inventions to slot in. We can now start using level 40s, which are even better. So we train up to the next level, and now we're going to be adding slots. So I think we definitely want to finish Energize for at least for the... We're going to eventually want to put heals on this too. We're going to want this 6 slotted because heals are always good to have. So we're going to put a slot on energize. Do we want to go soul drain? I think we do. We want to put another recharge on soul drain. And maybe an endurance reducer on midnight grasp. So let's do that. We'll spread them around a little bit, try to improve all of our powers. So do we have the recipes? We have an endurance reducer of level 40 that we can craft. And we have a recharge reduction, but we need some stuff. So we're going to need, we have 1 recharge reduction and 1 endurance reduction. So we'll go ahead and get those crafted, and I'll bring you back once I've done that. Alright, we're back, folks. So we have endurance reducer in midnight grasp, recharge reducer in soul drain. We don't have a spare one yet to put in energize, but as soon as we get one, we will. We also are going to need to change out this endurance reducer and a couple of other these and some of these guys. But I'll do that off screen after we finish this episode. So let's talk to Sheridan, who says, it wasn't a chemical company, but a council front. Well, we lucked out on that one still. I'm sure the Richter are up to something. Well, also they go around stealing human organs. Then he says, it looks like that warehouse was a dead end. Yeah, because it wasn't a warehouse. Even worse, the Richter struck while you were over there. They kidnapped the renowned transplant specialist, Dr. Schneider. Go rescue him. All right, so we will go look for Dr. Schneider. Let's auto-teleport to the mission. So in one of the comments in end of Season 2, early Season 3, 1 or 2 people have asked, how do you get to play this game? How is it back? You should be able to Google it, but it's cityofheroesrebirth.com, I believe. If you just Google City of Heroes Rebirth, you should be able to find it. They have a forum, and they have instructions on how to download the client, how to make an account, and how to connect to their servers. In case you have any concerns about whether, hackers are going to try to steal your data or something, I don't think so. I've been playing on this server for, like a year now, and not had any issues regarding that sort of thing. So I think you can, feel safe trusting them with your email address and things like that. Sometimes it's a concern, but I don't think you need to worry about that for Rebirth. There's also the Homecoming servers. I am not allowed to show any video of those anymore, but if you go back and watch Silver Phoenix and Liberty Last, those 2 were on the Homecoming server. Those videos stopped on March 8th. The posting of those videos stopped on March 8th of 2020, and they are recordings of probably what happened more around January, February, because I was several months behind on posting those. So things have changed in the Homecoming servers in terms of them, doing updates and that sort of thing. But why are these white cons? But you can also find them if you Google City of Heroes Homecoming. You should be able to find. They have a separate sort of download client. One Rebirth uses cream soda. The other one uses something called tequila. Again. Both of those, as far as I know, are safe to download from the Rebirth and Homecoming websites and to use, and I've not had any issues with them, with either one. And I happen to prefer Rebirth in a lot of ways, and I'm only allowed to upload video from Rebirth, but you can play on Homecoming as well. Homecoming has multiple servers. Rebirth only has one, the Rebirth server. Homecoming has Everlasting and Excelsior and Torchbearer and a couple of others. So, it's whichever one you prefer. There's also one, I think, still around called COXG, which is run by another group of people and is sort of like a Wild West server. I think they don't have a lot of rules the way Homecoming does. Homecoming has the most rules in terms of player behavior and things like you can't post video and that sort of stuff. The reason Homecoming has those rules is because they think they're in negotiations with NCSoft to get control of the game. Officially, we can be fairly sure that's never going to happen. Um, they've been talking about this for 2 years and it hasn't happened, so it's not going to happen. But they think it might happen, and because they think it might happen, and they're hopeful it's going to happen, they're trying to put into place all of the restrictions that existed in terms of like player courtesy and players following rules and what naming conventions you can use and all of that. They're trying to put all of the rules in place that were in place during the live run of City of Heroes, so that I guess so that they can't get into trouble for allowing illegal or unethical things or whatever on their servers while they're negotiating with, or trying to pretend they're negotiating with NCSoft. Or let's put it this way: they think they're negotiating with NCSoft. NCSoft is maybe pretending they're negotiating with them, but they're not really, and they're never going to give the Homecoming people the rights to this game officially. It's not going to happen. It's stolen code. It was smuggled out of the servers from Paragon Studios back in the day illegally, and so there's no way that NCSoft can ever sanction this, because it would be like they're sanctioning the illegal stealing of their own code. They're not going to do that. So we can be fairly sure that it's never going to happen. But there are the most rules that you have to follow about player behavior and stuff are found on the Homecoming servers. And then Rebirth has some rules, but not as many, because the Rebirth guys don't harbor any illusions about becoming the official roleplay server, or the official server of City of Heroes. And then the COXG, as I understand it, the COXG server is pretty much a Wild West and has very few rules at all. So depending on what you like, if you're more inclined to want to play on a Wild West server where there are no rules and rules about like courtesy toward other players, or what you can do or how you can name your characters and stuff, then I think the COXG server would probably be the server for you. Although I've never played on it, and I don't know if it's even still around, because I haven't really heard anything about it. It probably is, but I can't say for sure. If on the other hand you want a server that has a very active help staff and is run more like a live server where there are a lot of rules about naming conventions and player courtesy and that kind of thing, then you might want to take a look at Homecoming. And if you're sort of in between there, or if you want to make recordings like I'm doing, you might want to look at Rebirth. And it's all entirely up to you which one you do. I personally like Rebirth the best, but there are some negative consequences. It's a very small population, and as you've seen, that means that the market is anemic and not something you if you like to play the auction house, I think your only choice is probably the Homecoming servers, because they, I believe, like in live, they have the servers all connected to the same auction house. So they have more people per server than Rebirth has on one server, and all the servers are connected. And so that enables the marketplace to be, it's certainly not as robust as it was a year ago when there were more people playing, but it's way more robust than the Rebirth server. So, if you want to play the auction house, then you want to go probably to Homecoming, one of their servers. If you want to get the more live game feel of having veteran rewards and having to earn those veteran rewards by quote unquote subscribing to the game, which in this case is just logging in every week. If you want that kind of feel, then Rebirth is what you want, because they do that on Rebirth. So it just depends on what you want, and I recommend that you, rather than picking a server a priori, I would suggest going to the website of each server and reading the rules and how the game plays, and maybe even looking at the activity on the forums and stuff to see which ones are more active, which ones are for you, and then you can choose accordingly. So yeah, there's a lot of options, and you can. It's really nice that you can pick your poison, choose which of the different sort of server setups suits you best, and go with that. Now, if you're wondering why I'm just sitting here suffering through miss after miss with these drones, it's that against a single drone, which cannot do anything to me, I don't think it's worth blowing a yellow inspiration. That one happened to be running because we were facing a Guardian, which I think it is worth it to use them against. But I just don't think for a single drone that it's worth burning an entire yellow inspiration when they literally can't do anything to me. Right? Even if I walked away from the computer with my character standing next to the drone, it doesn't hit often enough and do enough damage when it hits to overcome my character's regular health-based regeneration and resistance. And so I could literally leave my character standing here and walk away and come back in an hour and she'd still be alive. So there's really no need to expedite the defeat of a single drone, and I'd rather keep the yellows for something more important. We can do a soul drain, see if that hits and maybe helps us. But yeah, that one hit, and that'll buff us a little bit. Maybe we can hit some more, but we'll just go ahead and take the whatever it is, 25% to hit, and just take a while. It's ridiculous that they're this hard to hit, but and what is the to hit on this? 40%, and you see how we're missing 3, 4, 5 times in a row with a 40% chance to hit. We should be hitting almost every other time. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. This is an enormous map. So you just need to find Dr. Schneider. I don't know if we're going to be escorting him out. I don't know if he's in here. So we'll just beat everybody up. Wow, even against the Headman Gunman we can't hit. 88% chance to hit. Look at this. 75 and 88% chances to hit, and we're missed 3 times in a row. That's ridiculous. Yeah, there definitely seems to be something wrong with the 2-hit algorithm. That you need that much accuracy, and even with it, and a 75% chance to hit, you're constantly whiffing like that. 2 and 3 and 4 times in a row, over and over again. It's not occasional. It's continual. Every 2 or 3 spawns, you get a chain like that. It's just amazing how many times it happens. Now, I know some of it's confirmation bias. When you hit 5 times in a row, you don't notice. Right, like this guy, we didn't miss a single time. So what's a chance? The chance to hit this guy is 28%. Okay, now that was a reasonable number of misses on about a 30% chance to hit. Three misses. 4, 5. So we hit a 6th at a time. 7 misses. 8 misses. 9 misses. 10 out of 11 misses. That is not a 33% chance. Of course, some of these have 18% to hit, so... What was that? 14 misses? Or 13 out of 15 or something like that? It's a good thing we can beat up the drones in like 2 or 3 hits. Because if it took 10 hits to take them out, we'd be here for a long time. And it looks like Snyder's dead. Let's go ahead and do a soul drain. And that thing now recharges in about a minute, which is quite nice. And that is Snyder. Is there a boss in here? Just let's see. If there's a boss, we'll take him out. I don't see one. Alright, let's head out. That was a pretty long mission, so I don't think we need to stay in and finish the last couple of guys. Contact Sheridan, who says, Dr. Snyder must have dropped his pager in the sewers while the Richtie were carrying him off. I don't know if we'll ever find him now, Quintessence last. This is getting bad. The Richtie have human organs, human blood, and now a human surgeon. Yep, it's starting to look bad. But we will find out what happens to Dr. Snyder next time. And in the meantime, I will work on my enhancements and stuff. Until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Heroes on the Rebirth server.